Hey everyone, welcome to Sound Solution, and my name is Dan. On today's video, we're going to be editing and enhancing a podcast by doing some volume leveling, EQ, compression, noise reduction, and removing those stumbles, stutters, and pauses. So let's get started. Okay, so first what I want to do is do some volume leveling by normalizing these tracks. Now, if you look across the board here, you can see that there are some dynamic ranges here, so we need to even those tones out. So what I'm going to do by doing that is highlight all of my tracks, and then I'm going to go up to Audio Suite and pull up my normalize. I like to make it a little headroom here, so when we do some mastering, so I'm actually going to do negative 3.5 dB across the board, so that's where the peak will hit. So we're going to go ahead and render those. Okay, so now we're done with that. Next, we're going to do is look at everything and see how it's smoothed out here. So that's a lot better, so we don't have so much dynamics, and it'll make it easier when we do our compression. Next, I want to move on by adding some EQ. Let's take a listen to some of this audio right here. What about yourself?
Cool, man. I'm originally from down south Texas. I was born in College Station, but I claim Austin as my hometown.
So that doesn't actually sound that bad, but we can definitely make some improvements. So let's add on some FabFilter Pro Q3 EQ. So the challenge here is removing all of the muddiness, the honkiness, and adding the air to his vocals so they sound crisp and professional. So here, what we're going to listen to is the differences to hear how it's more polished with just these subtle changes. What about yourself? Cool,
man. I'm originally from down south.
Here it is with it turned on. What about yourself?
Cool, man. I'm originally from down south Texas. I was born in College Station, but I claim Austin as my hometown.
The changes are subtle, but they're there. It pulls out some of that muddy, brings up the clarity, making it sound more polished and professional. Now I want to add on some compression to pull down any peaks that may be getting through.
There you go.
It's up to you.
You see right here how close it gets with that peak? Let's add some compression to see what we can do about that.
There you go.
It's up to you. It's up to you to tell if it's true or not. But yeah,
great album to learn, though.
Yeah, exactly, right? Down pick heaven.
Now on my compression, I like to add just a little bit of makeup gain. Too much starts to make it sound distorted. So we don't want to add too much, just a little bit. I try to keep it around 1 to 1.5, 3 tops at times, just depending. And now I want to add some noise reduction by adding a gate to remove any kind of bleeding that's coming into the microphone from other sources, from our guest or our co-host. When this happens, it can cause flutter echoes or some kind of a delay sound, and we definitely want to get rid of that so it sounds more even and polished. Let's take a listen right here. You can hear a little bit of that flutter echo with Michael.
Home of Waylon Jennings, by the way.
Have you noticed much about, because I know when I left for a little while. I went up and did my thing with my family, and I came back, and I know
it has a very slight flutter echo sound to it. So we're going to try to isolate that by adding some noise reduction on everyone's channel with a gate. As you can see here, I have my gate open, and this will help prevent any of that bleeding.
But have you noticed much about, because I know when I left for a little while. I went up and did my thing with my family, and I came back, and I noticed a lot of the bands that I grew up with and did stuff.
So in addition to the gate, I like to add strip silence. Now what that does is it removes any audio that's not being used, so it takes it out, so that would further help prevent any bleeding into the microphone. And when you add strip silence to your tracks, this is what it looks like. And what it does is it removes all the areas where there's not enough audio coming through. This helps prevent any bleeding that comes into those microphones. So now I want to move on to removing any pauses, stumbles, or stutters. Okay, so right here we have a stumble. Let's listen.
Getting steady.
And you are the head engineer.
I am.
That's actually me you hear. I'm in on this podcast and I stuttered there, but let's see if we can fix that. And you are the head. Now let's take a listen.
Steady.
And you are the head engineer.
I am.
And by fixing that, it makes it sound more professional and smooth. And here there's a small awkward sounding pause. Let's take a listen. What are you currently doing at the moment? Let's see if we can reduce that, make it a little more smooth.
That's man, so.
What are you currently doing at the moment?
Currently.
See See how that pulls it together and keeps it moving, which helps keep the listener engaged and continue to listen. Now that we've gone through and removed any of the pauses, stumbles, and stutters, I want to move on to adding a limiter. And now here with this limiter, what I've done is brought the output down to -5 dB. That allows a little extra headroom for mastering. By editing and enhancing all this audio, it really helps polish and bring that professional sound to this podcast so that it keeps the listener interested and engaged. And now we have a great sounding podcast to send out. Thank you for watching this video. If you like the material here, please leave a like on this video and be sure to subscribe for more content just like this. Also, make sure that you leave a comment down in the comment section. Some of the best comments come from viewers like you. And again, I just want to thank you and tune in next time. Thanks.